Hello and welcome to Application SA. If you want to study in the University of Johannesburg, you have made a good choice. The University of Johannesburg, also known as UJ, is internationally ranked, career-focused and has strong support systems for both South African and international applicants. In this video, you're going to learn to apply to the University of Johannesburg online. But before you begin the application process, there are 3 things you must have gotten ready. First, you must have decided on the program or qualification you want to apply for. Next, ensure that you meet the requirements for the qualification or program you want to apply for. Both the programs offered at the University of Johannesburg and the applications are covered in the prospectus. So, you can go through the prospectus if you need to get information about the university. When you have decided on your program and met the requirements, you can proceed with the online application process. For the application process, some documents will be required from you. These documents help the university process your application for admission. They include your identity document or birth certificate, and your final school leaving results. Applicants currently in grade 12 upload their final grade 11 results. For 2026 academic year, the University of Johannesburg does not charge any fee for online applications, but if you decide to do a hard copy application, a non-refundable application fee of 200 rands will be required from you. We highly recommend that you check the prospectus or the school's website for more information on the application, but it is also important to note that the undergraduate applications close on October 31, 2025. Ensure that you apply before this date. If you have questions, you can let us know about it in the comments. Subscribe to our YouTube channel to get notified of information from universities. We also explain how to apply to universities and you do not want to miss it. With the prerequisites out of the way, let us go into the online application. Start by visiting https://www.uj.ac.za/admissions-aids. Now, here is where you find links to get to the application form. If you are just visiting the application portal to start your application, click the Apply Here button under New Applicant. If you already started the application, and maybe you stopped along the way, click the Apply Here button under Returning or Internal Applicant. We will click on Apply Here under the New Applicant because it is a new application. Since it is a new application, and the assumption is that we are applying for the first time, we are not expected to have a student number yet, so the value to this field will be no. The next option asks if we are returning to complete an application, and the answer in this case is no, since it is a first-time application. Note that if you are coming to complete an application you started already, then you would select yes, and then you can continue your application. The checkbox asks that you read and accept the POPI Act/ clause. This is necessary if you must start the application. You can check the POPI Act/ clause by clicking the Download POPIA. And to accept, just tap the checkbox next to I accept, only then will the next button be enabled. Click the Next button and you will be taken the section where you enter your biographical details. Begin by selecting whether you are South African or not. If you select South African, you'd have to enter your ID number in the next field. Notice the red asterisks next to some fields. They indicate that the field next to the asterisks is required and must be answered. So, upon entering your ID number, click just anywhere outside the field, at least so your phone's keyboard gets hidden, and the next option that asks for citizenship code will be autocomplete, but if it is not, click the search icon next to the field and select South Africa. Now, for every field that has an icon next to it, you have to click the icon to answer that field. Please, bear this in mind as we go. The next field, for instance, asks for your date of birth. Just as was said, do not try entering the date of birth into the field directly. There is a format the system accepts, and it is important to follow the format for proper recording. Rather than typing the date of birth into the field directly, it is easier and better to click the icon next to the field, so the system can help you enter your information according to the accepted format. Click the calendar icon, and begin this way. Enter the year first, select the month, and then the date, and the system will insert the value into the field for date of birth. If the date entered is incorrect, repeat the process again. So, the next field is your title. Simply select that. Your initials are basically the first letters of your names from first names to surnames. So, the name used here is Pedro Richard Farley, where Pedro Richard are the first names and Farley is the surname. The initials will therefore be PRF. Enter the information that follow. Your maiden is the surname you had before you got married. But, if you are not married, then you'd have no maiden name yet. Notice that the field is not required besides. As we continue, it is important to note that the application form should be completed from the top, because some other questions that may come as a result of the answer you gave in a previous question or field. When you come to the part of address, here is how you can complete it. If you are an international applicant, your postal code should be ZZZ, not because that is your actual postal code, because it is not. It is just a way the university wants to identify international addresses. You will see what this means as we continue with entering the address. The street address line 1 should be your street name, so you enter that. The street address line 2 should be your suburb, you enter that too. Street address line 3, your town name, and the street address line 4 should be your province. Once you are done with entering this information, you proceed to enter the postal code. Now, for the postal code, you cannot enter it directly. Remember what we said earlier, click the icons next to the fields. So, you click the search icon next to the postal code field, and you can search either using your suburb name or your postal code. But if you are an international applicant, your postal code will be ZZZ, so you'd search for ZZZ instead. If your postal address is different from your street address, you can click this checkbox and you will have to enter the postal address with the same process we use for entering the street address. Complete the rest of the information. When you're done, you can decide to go through the information. After going through the information you have provided so far, you can click the Save and Continue button. The next section requests for your next of kin's details. Now, just as you entered your information before, simply enter the next of kin's details. But below where you enter details of your next of kin, you will provide information about account contact. The account contact is the person responsible for payments made to the university. Simply enter the information. And just the same way you provided the address to your current address, you provide the address here too, in the same manner. When you're done with providing information about your next of kin and account contact, you may go through the information and click the Save and Continue button. The next section is where you enter your results details. Answer these questions as they apply to you. But when it gets to the part of subject details, here is what to do. The process is straightforward. You enter your school leaving subject by clicking the search icon and selecting the subject. If you wish, you can search, or you could just scroll down and click the subject. Next, you enter your grade if it is not already completed for you. Then you enter your final grade 11 symbol. It is grade 11 symbol because from the information that we supplied to the system, we are currently doing grade 12. So, after entering the subject information, the Add Subject button becomes available for you to click on. Click the Add Subject button and the subject will be added. Now, if you decide to delete a subject you added, you can click the checkbox under the Remove. This is just one subject, there may still be 6 more to add. So, to enter the rest, you have to repeat the same process you used to enter the first subject. Only after you have entered your results, that is, including all the subjects, will the Save and Continue button be enabled for you to click on. Now, it is even very important that the information provided here be accurate because your result is the key determining factor of whether you will be admitted into your desired qualification. When you're done with going through the information you've supplied, click the Save and Continue button to move to the next section where you basically provide information about education/institutions. Answer these questions accordingly as they apply to you and click the Save and Continue button to move to the next section. Here is where you select the qualification. So, here is just a glimpse into what is available. The more comprehensive information may be found in the university's prospectus. Here is something we believe you should know about. We have passed through many sections to get to this section, but if you want to go back to a section to maybe correct something or confirm something, press and hold anywhere on the page and this Quick Links dialog box will appear. From this dialog box, you can move to any section behind. Okay, so moving on with entering qualification details, you select your year and answer the question of what you are applying for. Here are search icons for you to use in answering the questions. You have to choose a faculty or college and you use the search icon to get that. Next, you use the same method to select your program. Now there are many programs, you may not immediately see the program you want to apply for to click on, so you can use the search form. Next, you select your year of study using the same method too. When you get to that point, the system will autocomplete the rest of the fields for you. The next thing to do may or will be to scroll down and click Add Qualification and the qualification will get added. Now, this notice is saying that although the qualification has been chosen, the provided results indicate that we meet the requirements for the qualification we are applying for. So, you always want to meet the requirements for your qualification to avoid being declined. For the sake of this application, we will just add the qualification. For this application type, you can apply for 2 programs, so to enter the second program, just repeat the same process that was used to enter the first program. After entering this information, you can go through the information you've provided so far, and when you're done with going through the information provided so far, click the Save and Continue button. This section allows us review the information we have provided for application from the first section to the last. Take your time to check your application details, and if you need to make any correction, click the section where there is an error on the menu above and correct it. When you go to that section and correct it, do not forget to click the Save and Continue button, and then return back to the section. If everything is okay, you can click Continue, or if you want to print this page, you click the Printer-Friendly Format button and afterwards, click Continue. After clicking Continue, your application should be submitted. From here, you should be able to complete your application at the University of Johannesburg for 2026 academic year. We believe this was helpful. You can let us know what you think in the comments. Remember, our comments section is open for questions, and if you want to get notified about information from universities in South Africa, subscribe to our YouTube channel. We wish you the best in your academic journey. Enjoy!